There once lived a violinist named Elian, who possessed a rare and haunting gift for creating melodies that could touch the deepest parts of the soul. But Elian carried a heavy secret. His music was not a part of him, but a reaction to the presence of others in the world around. In the absolute stillness of his own private company, he was nothing more than a mute ghost, unable to produce even a single musical note alone. The curse was simple yet devastating. He could only create sound when at least one pair of eyes was watching him with intent and curious interest. The moment a stranger stopped to listen, the violin would spring to life, singing with a clarity that seemed to defy the very laws of nature. The more people gathered, the more magnificent his performance became, drawing energy from the collective gaze of the audience that surrounded his fragile, lonely form. Yet, looking closely at his eyes, one would see only a terrifying emptiness. He did not play for love, but for the basic need to exist. As the crowd eventually thinned and the attention of the world shifted elsewhere, the music would begin to falter, losing its vibrant and powerful strength. Without an audience, his physical form would start to dissolve into digital dust, a tragic reminder that his reality was dependent on being seen by others. Are we not all becoming like Elian in this modern age, where our very existence feels validated only through the constant flickering gaze of the digital other? We seek the light of the screen to confirm we are real, trading our internal peace for the loud and hollow applause of an invisible online crowd. Sociologist Irving Goffman once proposed that life is a series of theatrical performances, where we manage impressions to fit the expectations of our many audiences. He identified the front stage, where we perform our idealized selves, and the backstage, where we can finally let go and be truly human. In the past, the boundaries between our public and private lives were clear, allowing us a sacred space to breathe without the pressure of being watched. But today, the backstage is disappearing. Every private moment is now a potential piece of content, a scene to be recorded, edited, and shared immediately. We wear these digital masks so often that we forget which face is actually ours, becoming actors who never leave the stage for a single moment. The pressure to perform is constant, driven by the algorithms that reward our most curated moments while ignoring the messy reality of being a real person. When we live for the lens, we stop experiencing the world and start documenting it, turning our precious memories into mere assets for social capital and likes. We are no longer living our lives, we are merely performing them for an audience of strangers, sacrificing the now for a digital record of the then. The constant click of the camera becomes the heartbeat of our existence, a frantic rhythm that demands we stay in character at all times, without rest. This performance is exhausting. A never-ending play where the script is written by trends and the applause is measured in temporary red heart icons and comments. We lose the ability to be authentic because we are too busy being effective, managing the impressions of thousands of people we will never actually meet. The gap between the front stage and the backstage grows wider, creating a profound sense of alienation from our own true thoughts and genuine feelings. If we are always on stage, who are we when the lights go out? The tragedy is that many of us no longer have an answer anymore. Our identity is being outsourced to the crowd, leaving us hollowed out and desperate for the next hit of dopamine from a stranger's digital nod of approval. This is the dance of digital ghosts, a performance of connection that only serves to deepen the void of our collective and individual isolation in society. Jean Baudrillard warned us about the simulacra, a state where the map becomes more real than the territory it was originally meant to represent. In this world, the representation of the thing is more important than the thing itself. The image of the experience replaces the actual experience of living. A meal is no longer for tasting, it is for the photograph. The flavor is secondary to the aesthetic, the nourishment secondary to the social validation. We use filters to perfect our reality, but in doing so, we create a version of ourselves that doesn't exist anywhere in the physical, breathing world. The simulacrum of our digital self becomes the standard we can never reach, leading to a constant state of dissatisfaction with our own natural, imperfect bodies. Baudrillard called this hyper-reality, a world where the fake and the real are so intertwined that we can no longer tell them apart anymore. We are surrounded by symbols that have lost their connection to reality, floating in a sea of signs that point to nothing but other digital signs. The authentic journey is now a carefully staged production, where the dirt and the struggle are edited out to maintain the illusion of a perfect life. We become copies of copies, following trends that have no origin, performing rituals that have no meaning beyond the accumulation of views and temporary attention. The original self is buried under layers of digital manipulation until it becomes a ghost haunting a machine made of algorithms and empty data points. We are losing our grip on the tangible world, preferring the bright, controllable simulation over the messy, unpredictable, and often painful reality of being truly alive. As Baudrillard suggested, reality has been murdered by the image, leaving us to wander through a graveyard of empty representations and hollow digital echoes. We are dancing with our own shadows, mistaking the movement of the projection for the substance of the soul, lost in a performance of empty gestures. The simulacra is not just about images, it is about the erosion of truth itself, where what is seen matters more than what actually is. If an event isn't shared, did it even happen? In the world of the simulacrum, the answer is increasingly a cold and very terrifying no. We are building our homes on the shifting sands of the hyper-real, where nothing is permanent and everything is subject to the whims of the crowd. The original emotion is lost in translation, replaced by a standardized symbol that can be quantified but never truly felt by the human heart again. We are becoming the very ghosts we used to fear, haunting the hallways of the internet with the echoes of a life we no longer lead. The simulacra is complete when we no longer even miss the real, content to live in a bright and beautiful lie of our own creation. Why do we fear the silence so much? In the quiet moments of the night, when the screen goes dark, we are left with ourselves. Despite being more connected than ever, global rates of loneliness and depression are reaching unprecedented heights among the youth and the elderly alike. We scroll to escape the discomfort of our own thoughts, seeking a distraction from the inner void that grows larger with every hour we spend online. The fear of being forgotten is more powerful than the fear of losing our dignity, leading us to perform increasingly desperate acts for fleeting digital attention. We are terrified of being unseen because, like Elian, we have forgotten how to exist when no one is watching our lives unfold in real time. Blaise Pascal once noted that all of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone for any significant period of time. Time is slipping through our fingers, spent in pursuit of a ghost of a life, while the actual beauty of our existence goes completely and utterly unnoticed. We are addicted to the validation, a chemical loop that keeps us trapped in a performance we never signed up for but can't seem to stop. The tragedy of the digital age is that we are never truly alone, yet we have never felt more isolated from one another and ourselves. We would rather be a popular fake than a forgotten original, trading our soul for a seat at the table of the great digital banquet of vanities. This is the dance of the ghosts, a frantic effort to prove we are still here, even as we feel ourselves fading into the background of the void. Our pain is just another data point, our joy just another piece of content, our very humanity stripped down to a set of marketable behaviors and interests. The silence of the real world is deafening, filled with the things we are too afraid to say because they don't fit into the curated narrative. We are a civilization of performers, each in our own little box, desperately signaling to the darkness in hopes that someone, anyone, will finally look back. The tragedy is that the more we perform for the world, the less we have left for the people who actually stand right beside us. We have become the observers of our own demise, watching our lives pass by like a movie we forgot we were supposed to be starring in. To be still is to be invisible, and to be invisible is the greatest fear of the modern mind, a fate worse than death itself in our eyes. We have lost the capacity for wonder, replaced by the instinct to capture, turning the majesty of the universe into a small, portable digital file. The tragedy of the ghost is that it can see everything but feel nothing, trapped in a loop of observation without any genuine or deep participation. Return to the stage of Elian. This time, he does not look for a crowd. He does not wait for a single pair of eyes to notice him. He begins to play, his movements slow and deliberate. At first, there is no sound, just the ghost of a movement in the heavy, quiet air. But then, something miraculous happens. A note breaks the silence, not because someone is watching, but because Elian is finally, truly listening to himself. The music is different now, richer, deeper, and filled with the resonance of a man who has found his own voice in the dark of the void. Life returns to the theater, not the life of an audience, but the life of the soul, expressing itself for no other reason than the joy of existence. The digital dust and the simulacra fade away in the light of the morning sun, revealing the beauty of the world as it actually, truly is. The journey back to the self begins with a single act of courage, the willingness to be invisible, to turn off the lights of the stage. Find the value in the moments that no one will ever see. Find the music that plays only for you in the sacred silence of your heart. We must learn to live again, not as performers for a crowd of ghosts, but as participants in the magnificent and messy reality of the present. The most important performance of your life is the one you live when no one is watching, the one that only your own soul can truly hear. Step out of the dance of ghosts, reclaim your original self from the simulation, because in the end, the only gaze that truly matters is your own.